Manus maketh man. Hell yeah. Hey, what's up, you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Kingsman: The Golden Circle. So, Kingsman: The Golden Circle stars Taron Egerton, Julianne Moore, Mark Strong, Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, Pedro Pascal, Halle Berry, Elton John, and Colin Firth. And what this film is basically about, it's about, when the Kingsman headquarters is destroyed, the Kingsmen need to team up with this other organization called the Statesmen that are in America, and now they basically need to team up to take out this common enemy of theirs named Poppy. So, what did I think of Kingsman: The Golden Circle? Now, I was very excited for this movie. I love the first movie. The first movie was actually in my top 10 favorite movies of 2015, so I was beyond excited to see what they could do with the sequel. Matthew Vaughn was coming back to direct it, so I was very excited to see what they could do with the Kingsman sequel. And then I heard the reviews, and I heard it was not that great, and I was like, oh boy. Of course I wasn't going to affect how I felt about the movie. I was going to go in it with an open mind, but I was a little bit skeptical, I will admit. And I was like, oh man, but I don't really want this movie to be disappointing. I've been disappointed enough this year, and, I just want to have a fun time with this. And I did. I'm sorry. This movie is a ton of fun. Honest to God, it really is. What is with these fun as hell movies getting so much hate? First Kong, Skull Island, then Pirates 5, now this. What is with these fun as hell movies getting so much hate? This movie is just cornball and cheese, out of control, blasphemy, fun. This is what this is. Seriously, this movie is awesome. I had such a great time with this movie. It is so awesome. I loved Kingsman: The Golden Circle. It is such a fun sequel. It's everything I could have possibly have wanted from a Kingsman sequel. It honestly is. It's everything I could have possibly have wanted from a Kingsman sequel. It was awesome. I loved it. So let's get into my positives. And my positives are first being the acting. The acting is actually really good in this movie. I thought everyone did a really solid job in the film. Taron Egerton is great once again as Eggsy. I loved him in the film. I really enjoyed him in this movie. He did such a great job in the film. I did enjoy him in the movie. He was really great. Brought a lot of charisma. He was really good. Some of the stuff that he would say was pretty funny. So, yeah, I enjoyed Taron Egerton as Eggsy in this. He did a really great job. Julianne Moore, who I thought was I actually enjoyed her in this movie. I know a lot of people said she was kind of over the top. I could see that, but she didn't really bother me all that much. I thought she was pretty good as the villain. I did actually enjoy her in the movie as the villain. She was pretty good, actually. Mark Strong is great. I enjoyed him in the film as well. He did a really great job. Jeff Bridges, my man, he's in this, and I loved him. He was great. He is so fantastic. By the way, can I just say that I love the fact that all of the statesmen have alcoholic drink nicknames. His name is Champagne. Pedro Pascal's character's name is Whiskey. It's great. I love it so much. So, yeah, Jeff Bridges was great. I enjoyed him. Channing Tatum, who isn't in the movie all that much, but I actually did enjoy him. He was very good. I did enjoy him for the screen time that he did have on screen. Pedro Pascal, who was my favorite character in the entire film. This dude was awesome. I loved him. He was great. Seriously, every time this dude was on screen, the first time we see him, I was like, I love this dude. This dude is great. He is so fantastic. Pedro Pascal did such a great job. He brought so much charisma to this character. He really did. I loved him in this movie. He was by far my favorite character in the entire film. He did such a great job portraying this character. He was so amazing. So, yeah, Halle Berry's in this too. I enjoyed her as well. Elton John's in this. Yes, he actually plays Elton John, and he's great. Like, I loved him. He was so funny. Just some of the stuff that he did in this movie was beyond hilarious. It really was. I loved him in this film. And Colin Firth, who actually came back from the first movie because, well, if you haven't seen the first movie, well, he's supposed to dead in the first movie because he does get killed. And in this one, he's back, and I enjoyed him. He was good. I did enjoy, what he did in the film, and he was pretty good. I did actually enjoy Colin Firth in the movie. The action is great. It is over the top as hell, but it is over the top as hell in the best possible way. I loved it. It was so great. Like, there are some action sequences in this movie that are both hilarious and awesome to watch. Like, I loved the action sequences with this movie. They were really actually pretty well filmed, and they were really great. I really enjoyed the action sequences in this movie. They were so great. I loved them. It was just over-the-top nonsense, and it was great over-the-top nonsense. I loved it. It was so fantastic. Very well shot. Very well edited as well. So, yeah, the action sequences were really great. I had a blast. Every time they would happen, it was just like, this is awesome. I love it. It was so great. The action sequences were really fantastic with the film. The comedy is hilarious. This movie... This and Thor Ragnarok are probably like the two movies that made me die of laughter the most this year. Like, seriously, like, I was seriously dying at points. Like, there are some really hilarious moments in this film. Like, I was literally, like, it was so funny. Like, the comedy is so well handled in this movie. Like, I was dying, especially with, like, some things that Eggsy would do, Elton John would do, like, Whiskey. Like, there are just some things that really happen in this movie that are really hilarious. I thought the comedy was pretty well handled. I honestly was dying of laughter at points during this movie. I love the chemistry between the Kingsman and the Statesman in this. Like, I loved how they interacted with each other. Like, they were really great. I did think all the characters had really good chemistry with each other. I did enjoy them in the film. The villains were really good too. I thought they were actually pretty solid villains. I did enjoy them in the movie, and, they did their part well of being villains. The writing is really great with the movie too. I thought the writing was pretty solid with the film. Directing is great as well. It's very well shot, very well edited. Cinematography is really good as well. Like I said, this one's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed the first movie. So glad he came back to direct this one. Hope he comes back to do Kingsman 3. But, he was really great. I thought he did a fantastic job directing the film. It's very well shot, very well edited, and the cinematography is really great with the movie. So, yeah, Matthew Vaughn did a really great job directing the film. And the pacing is really good too for the most part. Honestly, I do think the pacing is pretty solid. The movie's 2 hours and 21 minutes, and I do think it actually moves at a pretty solid pace for a movie that's almost 2.5 hours. I will say that. It did move at a pretty solid pace. So, yeah. Now, there are some negatives I do have with the film, and my negatives are, first being, although I did enjoy Colin Firth for the movie, I will admit the reason why they brought him back was kind of lame. I thought it was just kind of forced in there. That's like, oh, everybody loved him from the first movie, so let's bring him back. You know what I mean? And I just kind of thought the reason why they had to bring him back and all that and save him and everything was kind of lame. And I was like, okay, this kind of seems forced. This is just like, oh, we just need to bring the character back for the sake that people love the character. But like I said, I still enjoyed him in the movie. He still was enjoyable, but I thought the reasoning behind why they had to bring him back was kind of lame. And lastly, the movie does can drag a little bit at times, given the running time that they do have. Not saying movies that are at that running time, can't drag at all. But, there are points in the film where it does drag a little bit. I was like, okay, you could kind of, not drag this along. There were some moments in the film I did feel it kind of dragging a bit. But that's really it, honestly. I personally really love this movie a lot. I had a blast with Kingsman: The Golden Circle. It is such a fun and enjoyable sequel. It really is. It was everything I could have possibly have wanted from a Kingsman sequel. I had a blast with it. So it's time for my official grade on Kingsman: The Golden Circle. My official grade on Kingsman: The Golden Circle is an A-. It's a great movie. Like, I seriously really don't get the hate with it. I had a blast with it personally. Like, I was smiling from beginning to end. I was having such a good time with this movie. It's such a fantastic film. If you haven't seen Kingsman: The Golden Circle, go and check it out. It's such a great movie. I personally had a blast with it. Has some great acting, great action, great comedy. It's a really enjoyable film. I had such a blast watching Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Definitely deserves an A-. Really enjoyable. So, if you have seen Kingsman: The Golden Circle, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you out later. Peace.